Hey guys, Doom here. I want to go through the Wildgate dev roadmap. First off, I had an absolute blast in Wildgate. I think I've put about 80 hours into various playtests. I've played a ton, I've posted a ton, and when the game comes out, I'm planning to go hard on it and post more of the Can't Stop Winning series as I share my wins, and it will start with Can't Stop Winning 69, which is a pretty nice number to start off. But let's look and dig into this. Obviously, the game's coming out on the 22nd. That's known stuff for everybody into the Wildgate circle. But the cool stuff that they're doing here is they want to have a lot of patches and a lot of fixes and a lot of content that's going to be dropped over their post-launch. So the first thing you start to see is they want to try and have an in-game store for cosmetics that rotates and do hotfixes, whatnot, and keep these things going about every 2 weeks. This is a really, I would say, fast cadence for development if you're, putting out fixes for your game. But that being said, Wildgate's game itself is very bug free. They are very polished in their open beta. After playing the open beta, it felt like a full release game. So as they add more things to the game, obviously they're going to crop up edge case bugs and whatnot. It's good that they're saying we want to address these quickly. A 2 week cadence for bug fixes is pretty good. Now, the mid-season patches are going to be for performance, quality of life, bug fixes, and bigger balance updates. They say provided as needed, which sounds more like if we have to do a big balance thing because something's become the meta or something was overtuned, that they might address it. This seems more like what you see from the playtest patches where they talked about how they need to touch on the Amy and mines, etc. These are like, we've got a bigger balance problem we need to deal with. They put those out whenever. And the interesting one here is they want to do seasonal content drops. They want to add more stuff to the Reach. They want to add new weapons, equipment, prospectors, ships. They're saying they want to do this about 3 times a year, which is like every 4 months. That's a very slow cadence, but to be fair, a whole new character in the game or a whole new ship in the game adds a lot of variety to the gameplay loop overall because right now we've already got what, like 7 prospectors or something like that. So as there's more things to deal with and more ships to deal with, you're going to have whole different types of engagements and metas arise from that. Um, Post launch, they're basically saying this is what we want to do. This is what we want to add. Talking about it's likely to be exception that the 2 weeks applies hotfixes. That's more like they might just piggyback into the rotating the in-game shop. They talk about the bigger patches, balance, performance, yada yada. It's a lot of stuff that's already in the image. So the seasonal content drops. They talk about things that they want to do. They're talking about narrative arcs. They're talking about history of the Reach, and they'll be told over seasons. And they talk about new content with POIs, loot, hazards, procedural dangers, just lore, and all sorts of stuff that they're going to go into. The adventure passes are interesting because they work like a. They're not a battle pass. They're just like you select them, you gain experience in them. They're part of the base game. I'm not sure if they're ever going to sell adventure passes. Like right in the base game, there's one for every character, and that's where you unlock the ships. That's where you unlock your guns. That's where you unlock your cosmetics. That's where your XP gets pulled into. They're saying they will not be time gated, so they're a lot similar to like how Helldivers 2 does its war bonds, where once you have the war bond, you can work on it whenever. Um, yeah. So the base track of the game, they offer prospector ships, weapons, equipment, and the paid track, which will be paid adventure passes, will be purely cosmetic options. So essentially like a cosmetic only battle pass type thing, but keeping the actual content in the base track of the game. And they're also talking about, content's unlocked through in-game experience. All these passes are just experience, which is kills, ship kills, POIs completed. So XP is progression. So just killing and playing the game and surviving for a long time is good. So this is what they talk about more detail. They talk about scrap crates, an infamy system, streak goals and stats, more titles, badges, outfits, Twitch drops, login rewards. They're going to update the spectator view. They're talking about new artifact types, new hardpoint types. Uh, it's quite a bit that they're actually deciding to add to the game. And here's an interesting one for the people who played open beta. They were talking about balance updates, and they were talking about highlights including nerfs to the Amy, the Doctor, the Rock, the Mind Layer, and the Laser Ram. Tuning the respawn rates and adding a close all doors button to the security device hardpoint, increasing durability of helm windows, and tweaks to boarding and stealing. So once again, they understand their game. They understand the balance and balance concerns in their game. Now, whether or not they swing too far the other way is yet to be determined. We'll see that once we get patch notes at launch. Upgrading spectator view is nice, and Ukrainian Russian language localization is nice for those who need it. Scrap crates were an interesting one I saw. I didn't know what these were at first. I had to look at this post earlier today. When you grab a scrap crate, you get... This will happen for all members of the crew. So when someone grabs a scrap crate, everybody gets 500 XP, and you each unlock a cosmetic that can be used after the match. And there's apparently 150 cosmetics that are built into the scrap crate system. So scrap crates are going to be straight up, ooh, look, a scrap crate, and everybody's going to want to go grab it because you're just going to get a random cosmetic. So that's just a straight, just loot in, apparently in loot rooms. Players may find scrap crates in loot rooms. So finishing POIs will get you bonus XP and get you cosmetics. So as you play more, you'll have more cosmetics. They want to add more to player cards. They want to add titles and milestones, like destroying 500 ships or blasting 20 people without dying. The infamy system. Players can earn badges and titles that correspond to different ranks that are unlocked based on preset point thresholds. You gain points by winning games and lose points by losing games. Your total points reset every month along with your badges, but any titles you earn will stay with you until the heat death of the universe. Oh. So by winning a bunch, you're going to get special badges and title ranks to basically say, I'm this rank in the game, and it resets every month. So instead of a pure ranked system, it looks like it's a, infamous pilot system that it resets every month, but every month you have a chance to earn these titles and whatnot to show them off, and then you get to keep them, which is actually really cool. That player card stuff, I haven't actually read that yet. That's actually pretty nice. More cosmetic unlocks, Twitch rewards, login rewards, linking a Dreamhaven account. I'm not a fan of Twitch drops because, honestly, I don't use Twitch. I can't even remember my Twitch login. My old Twitch login for Doom721 is completely defunct, and I don't know the password for it, and I think it's linked to a Yahoo email. It's just so old, I can't even get into it, so I had to make one that's not my name. So I'll never even use Twitch. If I can't have my handle, I'm not using it. And I don't like platforms where they do that, where I can't change the name of myself to be what I actually, need to be. Another thing we didn't really know about what was happening in the game is post-launch support in terms of monetization. And it looks like they're going to use a credit system with cosmetics and bundles that rotate on a bi-weekly basis, and it's going to be for Prospector and Ship Drip. This I'm super excited about. I would love to pay for cosmetics for this game, because if you're going to win, you might as well win in style. And also you get to support the game at that point, so that's where my head's at with the Wildgate Cosmetic Shop. I always love cosmetics. They're a great addition to monetization because it hurts nothing and makes you look cool. Especially since everybody's going to see your ship and everybody's going to see you. Ship cosmetics are a really cool one. And they're going to do a deluxe edition of the game that's going to have themed skins for each prospector and ship. And there's going to be different styles for the helm, processor probe station, etc. I'll definitely be picking up the deluxe edition of the game. Absolutely. Later this year, they want to add more reach anomalies. They're going to talk about... It's really... It sounds like they're just going to add things to the reach. More hazards, more hardpoint upgrades, more POIs, and it's going to stay in the proc gen pool for the future. So anything they add isn't going to be like a limited time thing. It's just going to be part of the game forever, which is good. It should be just like that. I don't like when stuff is limited in a game and it disappears. Point in case, some of the special brigades and Helldivers too cause me some frustration when I can't even go fight them because they've disappeared. Let's see, Season 1. Content drop, new weapon, new piece of equipment, yada yada. Part of the base Adventures Pass track. So when they do Season 1, this can be part of the base game that everybody can get. So that's really good right there, too. So everybody bought the game. When Season 1 drops, there's going to be new Prospector. Everybody can work for it. Nobody needs to pay any money for it. They can just go and unlock it. A new puzzle mechanic as well as war anomaly. What is a puzzle mechanic? See, so they got lots of ideas. Custom lobbies also coming. Um, Season 1 adding custom lobbies means now people can have custom lobbies for tournaments and private games. So if you want to get, you want to get 20 people together and you want to play a tourney style game or you want to do a 1v1 tourney, you can. Or if you want to just fight a crew or even go into a custom lobby and just test stuff out, you can. You don't have to test it out in the real deal. That's really good. That's just added support functionality to the game. Seasons 2 and 3, so they're clearly like, this is long-term stuff. They're just going to keep adding more seasons. They're going to be adding more ships and prospectors and ship styles and weapon appearances, yada yada. More ways to play with friends. They're talking about the potential of, playing the game in a less threatening way, which might or might not happen. Kind of reminds me of Sea of Thieves, Safer Seas, which I didn't play, but I heard about. And then they're also talking about competitive and ranked mode, and they've added the infamy system. They said it's a light step, but they're talking about a more thought-out competitive mode. So what's going to happen is they're going to launch the game without a competitive ranked mode. There will not be a competitive ranked mode at launch. This is longer development stuff that might come out much later, much later. The infamy system will allow players to go hard for a single month and then prove that they are a good player, and then once they've earned that title, they can keep it, which is actually going to be really fucking cool and really interesting. Cannot wait for this game to come out on the 22nd. This has been my most anticipated game release of the year. You're going to see a lot of it on my channel. I'd like to thank everybody who watches the Wildgate videos. I am trying to grow that audience, and I'm going to provide some really fun matches to watch shortly on July 22nd. So, peace out, everybody.